Was tonight as impressive as you've seen him, given the physical problems he's dealing with?
It was. He's dealing with a lot right now. And he came through with flying colors and fought through foul trouble, a little bit of adversity throughout the game, and still came through and gave us 22. You know, and again, the most important thing is playing that whole game, the end of the game with 5 fouls was big for us.
As bad as he was dragging his leg around, was there any point you were concerned he was hurting you
okay.
defensively?
No,
anything like that?
we'd probably gotten in a fight if I tried to take him out of the game at that time. He was okay. I think these couple of days are going to help us get some nicks and pings out. We had some cramps, and you know, Landry couldn't go because of his back. That was a big blow to us. But John Salmons came in and did his job. You know, and that's what we've been about all year, is trying. One guy goes down, next guy steps up. You know, we just got to get back and get everybody healthy and go from there.
Ryan Wolstad, Toronto Sun. I mean, given the stakes and all the hobbling players, is this the proudest you've been of this team this year?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're on a mission. I mean, it's a marathon. Been going through it now for a lot of years, and you know, can't get too excited about a win. You can't get too down about a loss. That's what the playoffs are about. And you know, so many times in going through the years, you get so excited about a win and you get so down about a loss, but you got to stay even. And that's what I just told our guys. We can't get too excited. This team's got a lot of pride, a lot of veteran players who's been there before, and we're not just here just trying to win a game. We want to make sure we stay poised, stay focused on our business, and that's hopefully that's what we've been about all year.
Dwane, obviously Kyle had a lot of big plays, but the drive over gun at the end, the running hook or whatever. How big a play was that for you?
It was a momentum play for us. It was huge. We knew we had to continue to attack the basket. They did a great job of trapping us and trying to get the ball out of DeMar's hands. They did a good job of getting the ball out of his hands, but it opened up something else for us once they did that. So Kyle took advantage of that. And he did a great job of continuing to attack their feet, attack the basket, and attack the rotations.
Coach, John Schumann, NBA.com. Two-part question. First, were you quicker to double Joe than you were, like you said, after Game 3? And two, what was the key to getting stops once you did get the ball out of his hands?
We had 8 stops at the end of the game, and we were mixing it up, John. We were going, sometimes we were going on the dribble, sometimes we was going on the pass, sometimes we was playing straight up. So we were mixing it up. John Salmons had it a few times going straight up. We played it straight up with him. So, again, I thought mixing it up kept them off balance a little bit. Hopefully it did. I don't know. I have to go back and look at the tape. But mixing it up kind of gives them a different rhythm because he's such a great player, one-on-one in the post, wherever he is. You know, he's one of the best in the league. And so we have to try to give him different looks and different bodies.
Jason Schott, BrooklynFans.com. Expanding on that, Joe only had 7 points in this game. Darren Williams had 10, combined 17. Last game they combined for 50. What was the secret in shutting down their backcourt in general?
Okay, all right. Again, we mixed up the defenses, and I thought that would kind of. They missed a lot of easy shots. Is the scheme. If I told you, then I'm telling everybody. telling everybody. I mean, it's not my first rodeo, so. Again, I thought those guys are great one-on-one players, and they missed some shots they made, but our guys executed pretty well.
Dwane, on DeMar, I think he had 20 points in the first half, not particularly effective offensively in the second, but he did take 2 charges in the last 2 minutes. That's got to be a career high.
They did a great job.
Can you talk about that?
They did a great job second half offensively of taking him out. But he turned around, played defense. He had Joe Johnson some. I thought he got in, took a big-time charge in the chest from Johnson. And Johnson's a handful. I mean, when he gets going, he is something else. And so we're on high alert with him. But I thought DeMar did a good job of really holding his spot, holding his position in the post, and really turning it on defensively when he didn't. They were taking him out offensively. Steve?
Hey, over here. Shlomo Sprung from SheridanHoops.com. You guys won the turnover battle by 6, and you spoke before the game on how you guys had to get the pace of the game in your favor. How did you guys accomplish that tonight?
Well, I don't know what the fast break. I haven't looked at the fast break points or not, but I thought the turnovers was a big us not turning it over we only had, 10 compared to 19 last game. So 12 for 12 points. So that was a huge difference in the two games. I thought we handled the ball much stronger. I thought our disposition was much better against their traps, against their double teams. We got caught a couple of times, but for the most part, I thought we, handled it with strength and poise, so to speak. So I thought we were a little bit more prepared for it and handled it a little bit better.
Howard Beck from Bleacher Report. Dwane, this has been kind of an eye-opening season all around for Kyle Lowry. How would you describe just the growth you've seen from him over the course of the last several months?
He's matured so many ways, Howard, in the fact that, probably last year or 2 years ago this time, he probably couldn't have played with 5 fouls, or we got so frustrated it would have taken him out. But he's more mature now. He's more focused. He's helping other players when they're down, not playing well. He was patting JV on the back and Terrence, trying to get them going. So his leadership has come around as a young man. But maturity, I think, is huge for all of us.
Brian Mahoney from the Associated Press. Dwane, as confident as you may be in your defense and as good as some of your schemes are, do you ever envision you can have that kind of effect on a team like that, hold them to 3 or 4 baskets, whatever they had in a quarter?
No, I mean, again, I'm not fooled by anything, Brian. As far as I thought our defense was solid, but as far as just stopping them and taking them totally out of what they want to do, they got some good looks. We made a lot of mistakes in our schemes, so we're gonna have to go back and make some adjustments on our own. To clean up some stuff, because some of the shots they missed, they probably, we don't want to dare leave that to chance.
Dwane, hi. Steve Simmons, Toronto Sun. I apologize if this was asked before I got in here, but can you address the courage of your team? Guys were limping getting onto the court tonight. Clearly you had at least 2 guys who may not have played under regular season circumstances. Can you just talk about that?
It was big, Steve. It was Kyle Lowry's banged up, nicked up. Landry Fields came in last couple of games and gave us a lot, but he couldn't go tonight. John Salmons his back is still tight. So we're really nicked up right now. So it was a huge courageous game by those guys to come in and perform and play and still produce. I thought John gave us some good minutes defensively, and Cal did an excellent job on both ends of the floor, nicked up. So these couple of days are going to be good for us to go back and get our training staff to work and put them to work, and they were one of the best in the league. So we got some mending to do.
Is this almost historical for this franchise, what happened tonight?
Well, maybe for the franchise. I was saying earlier that, going through the 90s, I remember going with Seattle and all our times through Dallas. It's a marathon. We can't get too high with one game. We can't get too low. For this young team, I think it's a big step. But for our franchise going forward, if, things work out, we should be looking for bigger picture. Big picture. We want to make sure we don't want to just be a flash in the pan. We want to, make sure we're building something that will last.
Dwane, Chris Mannix, Sports Illustrated. DeMar's really settled down since that game 1 over the last 3. Was there anything you or any of the other coaches said to him in the days after that game 1 that you feel may have had an impact there?
Chris, I think the most important thing is just still believing in him. Nothing, nothing anyone was going to say. We said that from day 1. The playoffs are a different animal, and trying to go through the year talking about it, trying to build physicality, going through the process and all that stuff. We can talk about it all they want, but until you actually step on the court in a playoff atmosphere, that's the only time you really get it physically and mentally, and now DeMar understands what we're talking about physicality, about, defensive stops and stuff like that. So that's what we've been preaching for a couple of years now, and I think going through that first game kind of helped him soak it in, play through physicality, play through the contact, and still produce. And I think and the same is going to be for JV and Terrence going through this, the process of going through it. And it's not going to happen overnight. I love to wave a magic wand and say, hey, here it is. But until they go through it and make the mistakes, believe me, and there's a lot of them, it's just time is going to be good for them.
Josh Lewenberg, TSN Radio. Coach, you mentioned Kyle, right here. You mentioned Kyle making that defensive play at the end of the game, poking the ball away from Pierce. Amir also taking a charge, both with 5 fouls in the last 90 seconds. What does that kind of fearlessness do at the end
Well,
of the game?
it was a great part of our defense. It was good individual plays, but I thought our team defense, Josh, was really solid. We had 8 stops in a row at the end of the game, and we were really big on that, consecutive stops, and that was part of it. Their individual defense with 5 fouls was huge.
A final question to Michael.
Dwane, Mike Grange from Sportsnet. The end of the third quarter looked like, I wouldn't say you're on the verge of blowing out, but the game was certainly tied, and you finished up with Chuck Hayes, the 3 other Kings, and Kyle limping around, and yet somehow you hung in there. How key was that?
Well, again, you get questioned because you don't have enough in your rotation. I have to use every tool in the toolbox. And, guys banged up, nicked up, foul trouble, you have to reach in and go with them. We had Steve Novak out there also. You forgot about Steve. So, we have to, we're 15-man deep, and we have to use every bit of them according to what the situation calls for. And I thought with Steve out there, we needed some spacing, some offense, and we got that, and we got Pat back in. He needed a blow because he's cramping up and a little bit of everything too, so he needed a short break.